ThaBoxingvoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just the body punches? I was hitting him with body punches, and I heard him actually, he was crying there. You're saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
So you knew you had him by that time. Absolutely. I knew you were tough and you were taking those punches.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice, and today is going to be your immediate reaction to Anthony Joshua taking on Eric Molina. I know. I want to see how you guys feel about this one. I don't think it's that bad of a fight, but you'll have to stick around if this is something you're interested in, something that you want to participate in. Remember, that number is 1-425-569-5241. And if you want to call us absolutely free internationally from whatever country you're calling in from, add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. Remember, Boxing Talk.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold the record for you. My drop. I know my drop. I know my cigarettes.
But it's gonna be very difficult for both of us.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another immediate reaction show where we have to, obviously soak it all in, right? Take in this new information that we've just received. It's been breaking news today, reported on ESPN by one Dan Rayfield. Anthony Joshua, who is 17-0 with 17 KOs, is finally going to make his defense of his version of the heavyweight title. And this will be his second defense. This time he's going to be facing Eric Molina. Eric Molina is 25-3 with 19 KOs. Right off the bat, I just want to say, in my opinion, I think Eric Molina is a better opponent than, let's say, David Price, which was the name that we all were expecting Anthony Joshua to face. And, we don't know what sort of tests David Price could have really presented for Anthony Joshua, being as though that he has those 2 knockout losses to Tony Thompson, who is 40+ years old. So we all assumed that a guy like Anthony Joshua would be able to do the same to David Price. Now, Eric Molina, on the other hand, I guess it could be argued that he is in the same predicament because, his big win comes to, his loss comes to Deontay Wilder by a knockout, right? But Eric Molina does have the art of bouncing back. It's what he's been able to do. Every time he suffered a loss, he's been able to come back. When he lost that first time versus Chris Arreola, he was able to gather up enough wins to earn him a Deontay Wilder fight and, do fairly well with Wilder. So that would be a comparable opponent, a barometer fight for Anthony Joshua to see where he's at when comparing himself to Deontay Wilder, or critics. We have now the ability to say, well, Joshua got rid of, Eric Molina in X amount of rounds or in semi-fashion. Eric Molina also will be, I'm going to go ahead and say, probably the best name on Anthony Joshua's resume if Joshua could get the win. Eric Molina has shared the ring with guys like Arreola, Wilder, Thomas Adamick, and others, which gives him that experience. And he's at least coming off of a win, 2 to be exact, one of those being Adamick. I don't know how much credit our hardcore fans will give Eric Molina for beating Thomas Adamick back in, I believe, April. Thomas Adamek, he had a great career, but probably at this point in his career, isn't the same. Nevertheless, Eric Molina definitely dispatched of Adamek in a fashion in which you want to see a guy do so when fighting someone who doesn't belong in the ring with them, right? And Eric Molina, you have to give him credit. He went overseas for this fight with Adamek. Not to mention that he will be going overseas with Anthony Joshua. Now, again, we can't expect too much, right? It is a short notice fight. This fight is taking place December 10th, and it's going to be at the Manchester Arena in Manchester, England. And obviously, Molina's going to be an underdog. There's no denying that. But there are some elements in this fight. We get to see Joshua versus a pretty tall fighter, and we get to see him versus someone that I would consider durable, even though, again, Molina holds a knockout loss to Areola, which some, especially now, seeing Chris now, will probably not think, discredit Molina for that loss. But, this was a younger version of Chris Areola, and it's really important you go back and watch that fight. Molina definitely had Areola hurt and didn't capitalize, which allowed Areola to come back into the fight and ultimately stop him. This is the heavyweight division, ladies and gentlemen. Things like that happen. The fights turn around. Every heavyweight is dangerous. That being said, Molina presents a lot of difficulties for Joshua. He's going to have to come and find Molina. And I've watched Molina in sparring, with multiple sparring partners. So it's an interesting fight. And again, on a short amount of time, this is a good step in. I'm much more pleased with this name than I am with this fight had it been David Price. And I'm more pleased with Anthony Joshua's selection of opponent in Eric Molina than, let's say, the WBA's new ruling with Lucas Brown and Shannon Briggs, who somehow ends up getting a title shot with Lucas Brown. I mean, that is an immediate reaction show in itself. How the hell did Shannon Briggs get a title shot? I don't know. Lucas Brown, I'm not mad at because, that was his title anyway, right? Like, he lost a version of that title because of, whatever drug thing that he ended up being vindicated from. But Shannon, no disrespect to him. I know he's trying to eat and he's got a family to feed and whatnot, but that's not, I don't even understand. Why not Luis Ortiz? And I know Luis Ortiz vacated or whatever because he had managerial things, but damn, did they remove him from the rankings altogether, that somehow the only other name that the WBA could come up with was Shannon Briggs? I don't know. But again, like I said, that's an immediate reaction show all in itself. Please do not even talk to me about that, right? We'll do one just for that. Eric Molina, Anthony Joshua. My immediate reaction is it's okay. Short notice fight. Better than David Price at the moment. For all we know, people will say, hey, David Price can beat Eric Molina. But at least we know that, Molina wasn't knocked out twice by the same dude. And the same dude wasn't 44. At least Areola was a young version of himself when it happened. And the other knockout losses to Deontay Wilder, which everyone loses to Wilder by knockout fashion besides Bermane Stavern. So, again, I don't know. And Molina, I don't know. You tell me, right? It's an immediate reaction show. What did you think of Eric Molina as a opponent for Anthony Joshua? We're going to go out to these phone lines and get your thoughts. Remember, that number is 1-425-569-5241. And we're going to be taking your calls. We're going to take international calls live on Skype. Remember to add Nestor Gibbs. We're looking for your immediate reaction. And we're going to get this done quick because this is going to be a little show. I just came up from Philly working double time for you guys. That was 4 hours on the road. Got some fire with Angel Garcia. I know you've been just seeing the new stuff I just released, but whoa, fire, believe me. All right, let's get out there. 5'10", You're live on TBB. Who is this?
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're live. Who's this?
Yeah. What happened? You ain't got me saved no more? This is Donald.
Donald, I do, but I don't have a producer today, baby. This is immediate reaction show. Producers only around Thursdays, Saturdays,
Okay.
Sundays.
Okay. Okay, yeah, this is Donald from Richmond. So what I was finna say is I think Eric Molina is a great opponent for Anthony Joshua because I know that they want to build Anthony Joshua up, and if they can, they want to make him be the undisputed heavyweight. And also, I know that they're talking about him fighting Wilder, and this is a great stepping stone for him. If Joshua gets in the ring with Molina and he gets him out of there before 11 rounds and he looks impressive doing it, they will be very impressed, and I'm sure Eddie Hearn will want to lean more towards to make it a little bit more faster for Wilder if he takes care of Molina before 11 and he looks more greater than Wilder did, you know? So I think that's what they're trying to push for, you know, after that. So I feel like that's a great thing for him to do that, you know? And plus, Eric Molina, like you just said, I think that will be like the best opponent on his resume. I mean, he's got some decent people on there, but Eric Molina has, you know, he's a bit of a veteran in the game, and if he can get him out of there before 11, that's really great.
Totally agree with you, my friend. Thank you again for calling in, Donald. And like I said, man, producer is not here, but once we get to all those Patreon goals, we'll have a producer to go live with me every single time. So Donald, head on over to Patreon and check it out. We got more exclusive, never before seen footage over there and interviews and just a bunch of stuff. We're going to keep it out. We want your immediate reactions. Eric Molina versus Anthony Joshua, live Manchester Arena. What are your thoughts? 407, talk to us.
Yeah, I think it's a good fight, and I'm interested to see how it play out. I look at it like it's a build-up for him versus Deontay Wilder, but I want to see how Joshua would do because Molina was getting in Wilder's ass, so I want to see if Anthony Joshua will fight him up better than Wilder did. That's all I got.
Well, all right, brother, short and sweet. Thank you for calling in from Orlando. We appreciate it. We're going to get about to the Skype machine and give these guys a little bit of love. We got Anthony live. Talk to me, brother. Immediate reaction, Eric Molina, Anthony Joshua. It's official.
Man, Anthony Joshua, I think it's just, just a stay busy fight. That's just something for him just to, just a snack on until the main course comes, which would be, the big names and whatnot. But I think it's a test. Very, very, very good test. You got Molina, who, is always game. He always comes to fight. He has a little bit of ring intelligence in the ring, and I feel like he's gonna put up a pretty good fight as long as it lasts. I have it going 5 rounds, a straight right hand landing on Molina, and down goes Molina, and that's pretty much what I see in that fight. He's gonna stalk him for a couple rounds though, meaning Molina's gonna and then he's gonna start boxing, and then Anthony Joshua is gonna put on the pressure, and once he puts on the pressure and starts landing those big bombs accurately as he does, it's game over. But good immediate reaction show, Ness. Thank you.
Thank you, Ant, man. Thank you for calling in. Really quick, I just want to switch topics. And again, for anybody that's just tuning in and doesn't know how we do things around here, this is an immediate reaction show for Anthony Joshua versus Eric Molina. I do want to slide in that for all our long-term listeners and all our listeners that are planning on attending the TBV Fan Appreciation Night in the West Coast over in Las Vegas on the eve of Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev. I am happy to announce that we have a few big guests. Peter Quillen will be in attendance. Willie Monroe Jr. will be in attendance. Andre Rozier, the trainer of Daniel Jacobs, will be in attendance. And Mario Barrios, the young up-and-coming Texan Mexican prospect out of San Antonio, will be in the building. I'm happy to report that it looks like our very own Anthony Rodriguez from Texas, San Antonio area also will be in the building. Sean Zattel, our Las Vegas correspondent, will also be in the building. But I am most pleased to report that, we've been able to get a really big name especially for this fight. Very pivotal for this fight, this guest. And that is none other than Virgil Hunter, the trainer of Andre Ward. So on the eve of one of the biggest fights in boxing, at least for a hardcore, our TBV listeners and attendees will be able to pick the brain of Virgil Hunter. And we will be presenting him with an award, obviously, for same reasons as we present all our listeners who will receive awards this year and that received in the past, and our guests that received awards. It's not necessarily based off of what you've done in the ring or in boxing. It's more about what you mean to TBV. Bottom line, you know, we are in our infancy. It's about 4 or 5 years only, and we've come a long way. And certain guys that are attending these functions have helped us along the way in numerous ways, just like you guys have helped us, you know, that, and that's why we're doing this fan appreciation night, because it's to appreciate you and to bring those fighters which you love closer to you. So listen, first of all, I want everyone to hit the thumbs up button, because I'm doing this show alone, right? And I just drove 2 hours to Philadelphia, then 2 hours back from Philadelphia, and no one, and I repeat, no one. You see, I just put out the Angel Garcia videos that I did, I don't know, about a month ago, and no one had that. And everything that I got you today, no one has. And I tell you, you know that Terrence Crawford and Danny Garcia, they had a little spat on social media. It was a little back and forth-y, little right? Yeah. Well, I got all the juicy details, and I'm talking about it got ugly. I mean, Terrence, yo, you know these guys, they make me the bad guy, right? So like the minute I put this video out, I'm telling you, Terrence ain't even fucking with me. I'm just letting you know right now. It was a possibility he was gonna come to the show. To the fan appreciation night. I hope that he still comes. I just want him to know, look, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm just the messenger. I just record. That's all I do. I record. So, you know, it is what it is. Again, immediate reaction show. That's why we got Curtis Stevens at the bottom, like, because it's immediate reaction to Eric Molina. All right, let's get out to some of these callers. Matter of fact, we're going to go back out to the Skype machine. We're going to go to, I believe it's Fahim's. It might be Fahim's turn to get up on here, man. I don't know. He usually just likes listening. So, Fahim, you're going to have to let us know, brother. Fa? All right, well, we're going to keep it moving. Alex, talk to us.
Hey boys, yeah, pretty pleased with this fight. It's not bad, it's a tune-up, but I would have preferred to see him fight someone top 10-ish, you know, your Parkers, your Jennings, that kind of thing. But, you know, I'll settle for this. It's not a bad fight. It's a good fight, but I think Molina's had some pretty strong losses, and is this for the title?
Yeah, it's for the title, bro. He's defending his title. It's going to be a second defense.
Yeah, I don't think. Do you really think Molina's worthy of a shot? I don't think so, man, personally. I mean, what if he gets that upset? Do you really want Molina as the heavyweight champ of the world? Anyway, that's my call.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Alex, all the way in Australia. Well, he said, does Molina deserve a shot? He's ranked about number 12 in the world and number 2 in the U.S. And being number 2 in the U.S. means nothing. We don't really have many U.S. American heavyweights, or I don't know, U.S.-based heavyweights or whatever. I don't know. But again, let's look at the landscape. Wladimir Klitschko obviously pulled out. He has a calf injury. Povetkin's tied up with Bermain Stavern. Deontay Wilder's not 100% recovered. Kirk Pulev, I heard he was fighting someone. I don't know who. I heard he was about to fight. Let me see. Nope, nothing yet. All right. But there is something. I'm pretty sure if I had a producer today, which once we reach our Patreon goals, it'll be a forever producer, he could have got that for us. But Luis Ortiz is also tied up. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, immediate reaction show Anthony Joshua. Now we're going down the list of names because Alex from Australia believed that Eric Molina doesn't deserve a shot. But Ortiz is tied up. Joseph Parker is tied up. Glaskov, who the fuck wants to see him again? Let's just be honest. That's the guy that lost to Charles Martin because of a twisted ankle. He's probably not even ready. Lucas Brown, we just found out today, is in the easiest fight of his life versus Shannon Briggs for the WBA title vacant. So, you know, that is what it is. Derek Chisora, who is everyone's, you know, favorite guy to put in the ring with someone, is also busy with Dylan White. And Christian Hammer. Do you really want to see Anthony Joshua face Christian Hammer? What about Johan Dunlapis, the one that Deontay Wilder beat, that at the time before he beat him, and even when he beat him, people didn't really give him credit. And then Dunlapis turned around and knocked out someone and became the WBC man. He knocked out Robert Helenius, who many people considered a very worthy adversary, right? So again, Charles Martin, and I'm going down the line, okay? I want everybody to know I'm going down the line. So does Eric Temper sound any sexier than Eric Molina? I mean, to say that Eric Molina doesn't deserve a shot, who doesn't deserve a shot is David Price, because we haven't been able to mention his name yet on this list because he has not shown up, because he doesn't deserve a shot. But at least on BoxRec, Eric Molina is at least number 12, at least. David Haye is 18, for God's sake. So it's not that bad of a fight. And again, I'd rather see this than you know, David Price. I'm sorry. Let me get to Andre. Talk to me.
Evening, brother Ness. What's going on, man?
Good to hear from you, brother.
All right, man. Shout out to Eddie Hearn for making this fight happen. You have to realize something, man. He needs somebody with a little name to keep Joshua busy. And I can't really fault the man for picking this guy. I don't have no problem with Molina getting the fight. So, I mean, I think if Joshua could beat him under 5 rounds, that should make a big statement for Anthony in 2017. And that's basically about it. I ain't here to bitch about it. Eddie Hearn's one of those promoters that keep boxing alive in London. So kudos to that man. You know, he just keeps the sport going. So all those folks now on Patreon, get on Patreon, man. You're missing a lot of good content in the emails, man. That's basically about it, Ness.
Dre, man, thank you for calling in. Let me get to some other callers, man. But there you go. Another guy that is happy with the sport. Like, you can't, I don't see how you could get mad at Eric Molina at short notice like this. Road Warrior, credit to him, honestly. 224, you're live on TBV. Immediate reaction, Joshua Molina. What do you think about this? 224, you're up. All right, let me see. We got 504. 504, you're up. 504. And we're going to go to 609 then. 609, talk to us.
Yes, Fish. Yeah, I appreciate the fight. I'm looking forward to it. And because Molina, he's been on your show for a couple times, I'm pulling for him. I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. I'm going to be rooting for him. But we know whatever happens, happens. And also, I just want to add that Ortiz, you know, he's scheduled to fight in November. And then if everything goes well in November, he's going to be fighting again in December. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, you talking about Luis Ortiz?
Yeah.
Yeah. When we spoke about the Malik Scott, we mentioned that is the plan that Eddie Hearn has set out for him. They're trying to get him back in December on the other Joshua card, and then he's going to also be on a card in February where he should be headlining.
Yeah, so he's staying active. I like that. And then I've been catching the Daddy Garcia uploads today. So you definitely putting in that work, dude. Keep it up, man. I appreciate it.
Dude, thank you so much. But those are old videos, man. That's just stuff that I released today because I knew it wasn't stolen, right? I knew nobody recorded me, but the stuff I got today, fire for real. Yo, they went in on Crawford. Not they. Let me stop saying they, right? Because we all know who it was. Who was it? Go ahead. I'll wait. Yep, you're right. Angel. But Angel ripped them for real. It was crazy. I can't wait to get that out. Let me get back out to these phone lines. We got you know who you are on Skype. Talk to me. What is this? Sensa?
Sensor, yeah. How you doing? You good, Nestor? You good, yeah?
I'm great, brother. I'm great, man. You sound like you're over in the UK. So you talk to me. Do you like this fight with Anthony Joshua and Eric Molina?
Yeah, I do. It's I mean, it's not obviously the fight we were all hoping for, but you know, it's boxing, so you have to accept what you're given. I think Joshua has a lot of hype across the world, mainly in the UK, and I think fights like this are interesting to me just because of what Dylan White managed to do with one shot. You know, Dylan White rocked Joshua, and I think if somehow Joshua comes under any kind of pressure in the fight, we still don't know how Joshua is going to handle getting rocked by a big shot. And it's heavyweight boxing, you never ever know. And the hype train could come to a sudden halt. We don't know. I mean, obviously, we don't expect that to happen, but it's heavyweight boxing. We also Buster Douglas. You know, things can happen. I think Joshua will handle his business, but you know, it's still exciting. It's heavyweight boxing, and it's interesting as a fan of Joshua to see what could happen if he gets rocked. That's basically my opinion. Big love from the UK. Keep doing your thing. Peace.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And good take, man. Definitely a good call there. I'm interested to see too. You know, you're right. You know, I've watched that Dylan White fight, and I'm gonna go back and rewatch it now that this. And I was talking to my friend Alex, and I want to go back and watch Molina's fight with Wilder because you know, oftentimes we hear people say, "Oh, well, Molina did good with Wilder." I want to see just how good he did do because we went back and watched the Danny versus Lamont Peterson, and man, whoever said whatever, go watch that on Patreon anyway. But yeah, man, so it's always good to go back and rewatch these fights. So we're definitely going to do some sort of retrospective series on both of these fighters. We definitely need to rewatch the Dylan White. Everyone always mentions that Anthony Joshua got rocked in that fight. Let's see if we could get back out to 504. 504, what's going on? Are you ready for us?
Yeah, I'm ready for you. I didn't hear you because I was right by my truck, and I was just in Philly, so I wish I was New Year's way. But my intake on Anthony Joshua and Molina, I actually think it's a good fight for what didn't fall through, because Joshua's still in the learning stage, and we still don't know where everything he has. So Molina is a good opponent because he's been in the ring with a bunch of top heavyweights, and from my outlook on it, it could easily be an upset, and they could actually have made a bad move or a smart move for Eddie Hearn making this fight right after Klitschko fight got turned down. And my opinion of Joshua, I'm confused. I don't know if the dude a bodybuilder or he a boxer, because the dude looking like he putting on some impressive muscle mass for boxing, and I think he's gonna eventually catch up with him. I want to see how this training he doing and keeps him at the top level of the sport, because I think it's going to take away from him eventually. I don't think he's that fluid. I think he fights real stiff and tight, and I just want to see him in the ring with good opponents, and it's going to get exposed if it needs to be exposed, or maybe it's going to work for him. And that's my outlook on it.
Well, thanks for calling in, brother. And yeah, at least we're all falling kind of in around the same, you know, lines here. We don't think it's that bad of a fight. It's obviously better than the Price fight, right? I just feel like Price has no shot in terms of chin, and I guess it's even unfair, right? So don't you know, attack me too much, because I guess it's fair to say Molina has 2 knockout losses as well, but again, one is Wilder, one is Areola. Neither guy was 44 years old or named Tony Thompson. Hit that like up button for the immediate reaction show. You know, us boxing fans do not have a lot of boxing content. We are at the mercy of the networks. TBV is here for the people. That being said, hit that thumbs up button. Let's spread the word. You know, because obviously This is you know, the community that we all love. We're gonna go back out to these streets. Remember, immediate reaction: Anthony Joshua versus Eric Molina. 253. You're live with TBV, brother. What was your thoughts when you first heard about this matchup breaking?
In my thoughts, man, I'm gonna honestly say, man, big, huge disadvantage, man. I honestly think it's a tune-up fight.
You still there, brother? 253. All right, 253, you might need to call back in. Looks like we lost you there. Remember, that number is 1-425-569-5241. Anthony Joshua, Eric Molina. We are taking live calls. We want your immediate reaction to this fight, man. Remember to press 1 if you want to speak, and hit that thumbs up button if you're listening to this today, tomorrow, or a bunch of years from now. 5-star review on iTunes is one of the best things that you can do. And to all our long-term listeners, another quick reminder: the TBV Fan Appreciation Night that's going to be held in the West Coast in a private big boy mansion location with special guests, Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillen will be in the house, as well as his new trainer. That's right. The same trainer of Andre Ward. That's right. The night before the big fight. That's right. Virgil Hunter will be in the building. I got a couple of other guys probably coming in. I was actually in the Danny Garcia camp, and maybe some Team DSG might be coming in. You know, they gave me a lot of shit, man. They all listen to the show down there, and they think I'm picking Thurman. You know, go figure, right? So I was getting a lot of shit in the gym today, but it was all good. Still got fire. Listen, looks like we got to everybody, and I think everyone on Skype except for Fahim, because that's about it. So this has been your immediate reaction show to Eric Molina and Anthony Joshua being official. The fight is on December 10th, Manchester Arena. It's a done deal, ladies and gentlemen. So if you happen to catch this when it's not live, remember to drop your comments in the, down below in the comment section, because we'll still, respond to those. But that being said, man, you guys have a good night. Thank you.